tournament last month.
Very impressive.
That is ungodly impressive against the best of the best. We look at the picks and bans. Happy eliminates Echo Isles and Terranas. Doesn't want to face a Warden. Moon gets rid of Last Refuge and Northern Isles. So Moon Meadows is back against Undead.
Oh.
Amazonia is in, and we start on Concealed Hill. Twisted Meadows, Moon happy. Shades of the last grand final with the 360-degree Dryad micro.
Twisted Meadows is a map that we rarely get to see, finds itself vetoed oftentimes, especially by humans, but here we may very well see it. Moon, he loves the big maps, he loves the mass expansion play. What is his game plan gonna be? We saw most recently Lawliad dazzling all of us with his Warden play, but that's Lawliad. Nobody can play the Warden like Lawliad. Moon, I don't expect him to pick that hero. Is it gonna be Demon or Keeper? It's probably gonna be one of the two. Happy, of course, as strong as he is very predictable. You know what he's going to do. But Moon, not so easy to tell.
Game 1 of this broadcasting day will start in a second. The rematch is on. Will Moon get the revenge, or will Happy claim the second win on this very patch in a row? First match for both in the tournament. Last time, Happy didn't start too well, if I remember that correctly. Lost his match to Focus. Moon, he was super dominant throughout the entire last tournament here in Shanghai, but then the grand final, he was stopped. He is seeking for revenge. Lucky Futures Happy from Russia, of course, his opponent. Moon, the greatest of all time, undoubtedly so. The only player to crack $500,000 prize pool, the only player to crack $550,000 prize pool, the most Tier 1 tournament wins of all time. But is he ready for Happy? Map number 1, CH.
Moon is the most accomplished player of all time, but Happy has the best average performance at WGL of all time. He went here once before and he got first place. Can he keep the 100% win rate active? That would be quite insane. But let's take this one step at a time, guys. Concealed Hill, off we go. Happy in the bottom left, Moon in the top right. So far, build orders looking fairly standard, if you consider Happy's build to be standard to him. It is the Happy build special with slow ghouls and DK start here. This is so far what we had to expect.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially Happy's own build order. You will talk about that later, I guess. Since they met last, it's quite an interesting statistic. Moon lost exactly one game against an Undead. That was against 1-2-0 in the Yule Cup. Happy also only lost one game against Night Elf. That was the CC Master semi-final against Lawliad. This insane game. Warden level 8 and 9. We were losing our minds. Hopefully that will happen here again. So both are masters of this matchup. Moon in total a 70% win rate versus Undead. Happy 72 against Night Elf. It doesn't get much better in this very matchup. Historically, they are pretty even. 3 wins for Moon, 4 wins for Happy. So it's pretty much 50-50. The question is, in what shape is Moon? I think Happy is always at least rock solid. Acolyte here, scouting and harassing a little. Moon has to play the extraordinaire stuff. He has to be the one to impress and throw Happy off, I think. If this goes straight down the line, Happy wins this game.
I could agree to that. It feels like Moon has to come up with a few tricks up his sleeve, like the invisible Archer Wall, which was such an insane move just a couple of days / weeks ago. And we were talking about the first heroes before. It is the Keeper, who has, of course, was dominating 1.30, but has been falling off more and more, especially against human, but also against Undead. But Moon still chooses him. Can still be a viable hero, can still be good, but is not good in the late game. You need economic superiority, and this already puts pressure on Moon. Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute.
I saw this before, Remo. I saw this before against 1-2-0. Moon is preparing an Ancient Protector Mass Huntress push, and I certainly hope that Happy saw the same game that I did. This is nothing that a normal Night Elf does, but Moon is anything but a normal Night Elf.
And I guess it does work pretty well tailor-made against Happy, right? He's going for this Happy build, which means Fiends only very late, fast tech, and not even many ghouls. So very few units in general to make use of in the early game. So if suddenly, let's say, 4 Huntresses arrive and a couple of APs come up, perhaps this is going to be a big issue for Happy to deal with. Scouting here is essential. You need to be able to see what's coming. Acolyte is still alive. That's also really important.
But he's in the wrong position. He's in the base.
But
usually this is where stuff's happening. And now the skeleton.
Yeah.
He has to be the MVP for Happy and see the buildings.
Yeah, Acolyte saw no expansion planted and no tier 2. Now alarm bells have to start ringing.
Oh, it's nighttime, but he's close and he sees it. Last second of the duration of the skeleton reveals Moon's tactics. And what's the plan now for Happy? How do you defend this?
Priority, I think, has to be scouting outside the main with the skeletons to cancel APs if they're coming. But we don't have them coming just yet. Huntresses are on the way. Good for map control. Not good for breaking bases. For that, you need APs and glaives behind that. But Happy already knows. Happy knows this. But Moon is also the master of transitions. We've seen him plenty of times looking to go aggressively all in. But then he backs up and goes into something else.
Oh, Moon saving this wisp last second into the first AP. Far off the base, but pretty protected. Was only one skeleton hit away from being killed, that one wisp after the coil, so that was a little wasted. This next Enter Protector a little more aggressive. DK is diving in deep for this kill, only with skeletons. It's only one crypt, right? So no double crypt guard alternative to this. Coils the skeleton for the damage uptime, and that is essential, getting the kill, but that's the second coil gone.
A lot of time bought, however, as well, getting rid of that AP. Another one is coming up here towards the left, but it's going to take a little bit longer. Oh, two more coming up. Ghouls now being brought in, and the Fiend as well. The Lich already on the way, by the way. Time is kind of running out here for Moon.
But the position of the AP seemed very good. The Ghouls have to go like around the corner, then being attacked by the Huns. The Fiend can't attack at the moment, so it's DK and Skeletons only, but masterful defense by Happy thus far. Is the DK trapped here? No, he can even go back into his base. Pretty much picture perfect. One Ghoul dies. Glaive Thrower transition now already. Not too many Huns, not too high on them. But Happy is killing one AP after the next.
Yeah, and when the Lich comes out, everything gets worse. At this point, at least 1 or 2 APs are supposed to be standing. Keeper out of mana, which means these Fiends probably won't be dying. And there we see him, the Lich is about to pop out. If the Ghoul falls, Happy might have lumber issues, but the Ghoul will survive. If this AP gets cancelled, it's looking dire for Moon.
Fiends are starting to lose HP as well. Now the Lich comes in with even more damage and range damage. So for the hero attacks, you don't have to dive in so deep. He saves both of the Fiends. And this could be GG
Nova
right here. Where's the Nova? Here we go. Frostmourne hungers. It hungers for a Keeper of the Grove. And there we go. AP push defended. Hero killed. No backup expansion. This looks phenomenal for the Emperor.
Yeah, this is a complete disaster. Was this AP push late in the first place, or did it just feel late?
I think it feels late.
Hard to tell. Like, ideally, you want to have the APs coming up in the darkness where they're not getting scouted, and suddenly 2 arrive, and Ghouls weren't able to cancel. But the Acolyte Scout, that's what changed everything. Acolyte scouting the main, seeing no tech, seeing no expansion. Happy knew it was going to be some kind of weird pressure build. Also, the DK plus Skeletons only, canceling the first AP, and only later the Ghouls coming in with minimal losses. Happy defended, and now Moon finds himself in an almost unwinnable game.
Yeah, he stays in this game because, of course, both players know that they are in pretty much a 3-way dance for the 2 spots, and no one is underestimating Infi. Never. Especially as a Night Elf, I feel you always have to be scared of him, so you can't calculate a win there. Same goes for Happy, but he is a tech ahead. He is levels ahead. He has a hero ahead who's close to level 2. And on paper, his army will always be better than the tier 1 of Moon. Keeper is back only now. He was level 2 as well, so it did take some time. Does he have enough firepower to establish an expansion, then try to overwhelm with mass again? Or that must be the plan, right? But Happy is here. By the way, we have a new observer compared to yesterday. It's Remo again, in my opinion, the best observer in the entire world. Shout out to him.
Yeah, great guy. Doing a good job here once again. So Moon, plan B, transition, seems to be the expansion. Question is, Happy, how's he going to respond to this? He could either all in push it or counter expand himself. Normally, Happy, really not a player very fond of counter expansions, but this game, it seems like he certainly should have the time. Tier 3, however, is coming up. Happy is creeping. He's got a good number of Fiend at this point. And Moon. This expansion alone won't be enough to win the game. He needs a couple of more smart plays here to get back into this match.
So what could it be with Night Elf? How creative can you be as a Night Elf on tier 1? Of course he's distracting, he's poking, but Happy is so fast and has such good scouting at the moment that there's no opening for Moon to do anything right now.
I think he has to buy a lot of time, get some economic damage in. Maybe Zeppelin drop? It could be an idea.
Indeed, yes, that's a good idea.
Try to snipe the Haunted, perhaps. But it's not easy, man. Like, you don't have a lot of firepower. You don't have an Alchemist either. It's not really that many hunts.
It's also not a hero like the Keeper of the Grove who can staff in so much like a Warden would at this point. A Warden can prolong games by 5 to 7 minutes by her harassment alone. Keeper can of course be annoying with Treants and staffs, we see it here, but he's really squishy and relatively easy to defend compared to a Warden.
He also sold his TP, didn't he?
Yes.
Or did he use it?
For the staff. Earlier on.
Oh, that's also dangerous. With that TP being gone, the idea already of going for a base drop, it becomes a lot more dangerous. Moon is cutting some corners here, which he has to, of course, with the disadvantage he finds himself at. And a Tree of Life bottom right. I like this. I like this play. This is kind of the Hail Mary that hopefully can win him the game, but Happy is even scouting for that one. How ridiculous is this?
Yeah. It feels like he has a map hack built into his brain at this point.
Really smart.
And how many trees did he kill? It feels like he's the Brazilian president.
Tier 3's finished now. Destroyer form coming in. Moon is trying to distract. Already a Spirit Tower in the main. Also so smart. Happy knows that Moon can only win this game with base trade, with economy harass, with run-bys. A straight-up game, Moon won't be able to win, and Happy's trying to cover his base as much as he can. But the Destroyer form upgrade seems to be getting cancelled, and that is a big deal indeed.
Happy not even trying for a repair against Huntress is rather useless, but Happy is in for the split attack. He sacrifices his slaughterhouse for that gold mine, and I guess that's the right way to do it. His fiends are super powerful. His kiting is one of the best in the world.
Oh, he's not TPing home. He's going for the attack into the main. Well, if the Tree of Ages falls, that's probably game, I guess. The one Spirit Tower still helping defend in the main. Happy could upgrade more Spirit Towers. He certainly has the resources to do this with. And the Tree of Ages, it doesn't even have Nature's Blessing, so this one could be in trouble very soon.
Okay, Happy, he's not even supply stuck, can go for more fiends or even Gargs if he wants, because there's limited anti-air. And he calls for the GG, a little anticlimactic, but Happy looking super solid.
And as so often, looking cheese-proof as well.
Yes.
Infi in one of the games in the recent months has disproven this and was able to cheese him out, but normally he doesn't fall to stuff like that. And here he scouts what's going on early, he sees no tech, no expansion, extremely suspicious, and he plays carefully around it. And Moon taking a big gamble in the first map, and he doesn't hit the 6, he hits the 1 instead, and that's the game over basically.
Yeah, it's nothing that never worked before or nothing entirely new. With the history that Moon has in playing AP pushes on CH, I can definitely see that, but Happy was prepared, or just if he didn't know this and just reacted to it on the fly, I would be so impressed, because 1-0 fell to it, and you know, the second best under the world probably. He felt completely overwhelmed by this push.
Yeah. Do you remember exactly what game that was and stuff? Like, for comparison, was he level 2, for example? That makes a big difference.
I know it was a game 3 of a best of 3 series, so he decided the series with it.
That's a good thing always on Concealed. You can creep level 2 really easily and then aggressively use DK out on the map for scouting and stuff like that. So it doesn't really seem like the best map to do it on, just for how simple and easy level 2 DK is, and that does help a lot. But at the end of the day, it's a cheese. The way cheese works is, well, if your opponent counters it properly, you probably lose the game. And is that a statement from Moon's side? Does he feel like he can't win a straight-up game?
I mean, he has 2 vetoes already. If he feels like he can't win a straight-up game on the 3rd map already, or the third weakest map, then it's definitely a sign. This matchup is really hard for Night Elf, but he and Lawliot, they made it work against the best of the best, so he can feel confident to a degree. I'm really curious what happens now, because with an AP push, you kind of need the Keeper of the Grove. Without that, I feel like I haven't seen Keeper in a long time. It's more Demon Hunter, so it's going to be an entirely different game.
Yep.
And Moon's map choice is Twisted Meadows.
Looking forward to this. This is going to be a fun one. Should, I imagine, be Keeper here as well?
Yeah, right?
I would have expected Demon actually on Concealed, smaller map, not that many mass expansions, not that much, you know, tree and harass possibility and stuff. But Twisted is a great map for staff action, for Zeppelin drops, for run-bys, for mass treants, all that good stuff, and then establishing trees of life everywhere. That being said, Demon Hunter actually, with Panda, has been looking, or with Naga, recently pretty good against Undead as well from certain players, but Moon still sticking with the Keeper here, at least in the first game. As mentioned earlier, Warden found its way into the meta thanks to Lawliot, but it's kind of a Lawliot special most likely.
But it could be a possibility here as well. She's not unplayable here.
True, but especially against Undead, I feel like you have to know exactly how to play her. And is Moon that well practiced with the Warden against Undead?
Maybe that's his special strategy that he reveals now. Or we see pretty much a replay of last year's deciding map 4 when Happy, just the craziest micro I have ever seen in my entire life.
To be fair, there's quite a bit of RNG here in the early spawns. The Night Elf really wants to be close to that Merc camp. Moon, does he hit the 50-50 dice roll now at least? Earlier with the AP push, he wasn't lucky enough to get him up without being seen. And now Happy and Moon going into map 2.
Indeed. The second encounter on patch 1.31 could start a 2-0 win streak, or could continue a 2-0 win streak for the Russian. Lucky Future certainly did it. What? Certainly did a good pick, and the observer points it out immediately. Remo, there's a tree, there's a Moonwell, but something feels off.
Yeah, we were talking about Keeper, Demon, Warden. We were talking about the wrong things.
Yep.
This is going to be a neutral hero build, which obviously begs the question, which hero is it going to be? Now, Moon used to be a big fan of the Beastmaster, and I tried telepathically to tell him that it's not a good idea. Is he going back to the Beastmaster, or what is it going to be?
Could be a very harass-intensive build with the Beastmaster Quillbeast, because you can't fight straight up with that.
What I saw him practicing earlier in ladder games, 1 or 2, was Panda solo mass expansions.
Okay, how does that work?
Didn't see the whole game, but he did make it to level 7 or 8 or something at a certain stage.
Don't you lack like everything with the Panda first? I mean, he has a great late game, but I feel like, especially against Fiends, even on level 3, he's not that powerful. Like, especially with the statues around.
He's obviously good against ghouls, and if he makes it to level 5, he has the craziest damage per mana ability in the game. But what else could it be?
It's so hard to talk about this match now with all the possibilities. It could be Dark Ranger, but on this map, she is incredibly hard to play.
Yeah.
With because the cams have, it's a Hunter's build order, by the way, with the cams being small in numbers and rather strong. Sonic Alchemist style, but rather not. It's the Panda. Okay.
All right, so he certainly has practiced this before.
So you go into the base, harass to delay the tech, then use some time to creep, or what is the game plan here? Because
I've only seen it like in 2 of his latter games, just a little bit on the side, so I haven't seen it too well myself yet. Is he just going to throw out harass Breath of Fires?
that's my initial idea on how to play this, and it feels like he's searching the way to the Acolyte.
This is so weird.
Happy stays at home, defends it with right clicks. The Breath of Fire, of course, doesn't affect him too. He's just ring around the main build. Baiting, like almost baiting a surround, because he constantly moves between the main build and the crypt.
Oh,
and
the Nerub's
ghouls were
about to
there.
finish. This is dangerous. It's, of course, super suspicious. There's a Panda in your main running circles around the Necro. It's like, you must know there's an expansion coming up. But where is the question? This is Twisted Meadows. This is a giant map. The Acolyte is out, trying to scout for it, but can't cover every single position.
Is this really so effective? I mean, what would the DK be doing right now? Creeping a little? But the early game is not really that scary for the Undead, I feel.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Happy build. Like, there's very little that can be done, honestly, in the early stages. So the Panda, well,
but
not
I mean,
doing much himself.
We saw how powerful Happy and the Rod of Necromancy was on game 1, where he canceled 3 Ancient Protectors with it. So, respecting Happy's early game rather than the Undead early game. He's scouting all the typical positions here at the mercenary camp, sends more units out to the north.
Acolyte should find it.
Yeah, there's no way to prevent it. There's no entangle, there's no disable at all. Skeletons see more. The question is, will you see the second Engine of War in the upper left?
No, he's going to die here. And at this point, it's certainly too late to cancel. And again, this is the weakness of the Happy build. No units available for attack early, so you can't really put any real pressure on. This is why always, no matter what the strategy specifically is, or the heroes or the unit comp, early expansions against the Happy build usually work pretty well. And I think Moon here is going for a smart strat, a weird strat as well, that Happy perhaps isn't as well practiced against. So question is, Happy, does he know already how to respond to this weird off-meta build? Huntress is chasing here. Some ghouls are moving out. 1 ghoul, 1 fiend. That is not enough to kill this expansion. More fiends coming. And Naga second. Hello.
Oh, okay. Big pressure. And with that damage, I mean, the tree is finished.
The thing about the Naga is she always goes well with Undead together, but the downside is you can't coil her. So hero killers are really good against the Naga. Panda is great at AoE damage, really bad at killing heroes. So this hero actually makes a ton of sense. Super fast tech by Happy once again, not interested yet in trying to go for a counter expansion. Putting on the pressure, delaying this Tree of Life coming up for as long as he can.
Sweet blocks, little sidestep by Moon. Skeleton follows, and that is big damage on this Panda.
Wow.
Can he... He's just dead. He's just dead.
Shout out to Juan. That reminded me a lot of the German Undead, but of course Happy. Second to none in anything that is micro-related, and Panda at least is going to be back soon. But I was asking just a couple of seconds ago, does Happy know already how to properly respond to this weird build? It looks like the answer is absolutely yes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's in full control. Every move makes sense. Every move does something. Whisper here for the detonate. That's really important. Second one not detonated, so no mana burn before the kill.
It's a lot of hunts, though.
It's Happy Micro, though.
Yeah. No aura yet here for Happy. Makes microing this a little bit harder. More wisps coming out. Surround almost on that Naga, but not quite. Hunters are finding some damage, though. Fiends are starting to drop low. DK mana is starting to drop low as well. When the Panda comes back, perhaps Moon can finally push away the opponent here. And there's the Panda. Using the breath, and 2 fiends are hurt. And the Huntresses should be able to now finally force the army away. These hunts are actually faster than the Naga, with there being no aura and no boots. But I think Happy is fine with this, even if he falls back now. He killed the Panda, he killed the Huntress, 1 Huntress, and most importantly, he delayed this expansion by a long time.
Yeah, we mentioned it, the Panda needs to be high level. He's not super effective on level 1 as the Naga is. He's not super effective on level 3. It gets better, but it's not great. He really needs level 4 and 5, and I don't see that happening at the moment. Yeah, the Huntress buy time. Yeah, the Fiends are low, but statues are coming in. The first one's ready. Tier 3 is ready, and things are just getting worse for Moon. Like, is his transition even starting? His expansion is not established, and Happy is at Tier 3.
Yeah, Moon needs to find a transition here. Huntresses won't do well at all much later. Here comes the Lich. Tier 3 is going to be done. Frenzy coming in as well. The Orb will be there also, so plenty of damage against these Huntresses. Moon either has to transition here into better units, or he has to go for a full run-by base race kind of playstyle.
Yeah, it has to be Zeppelins, right? We saw Happy losing to Zeppelin drops a little bit.
And the Panda is good for that. Breath
Yeah.
of Fire in the back of the base along with Hunts, that goes great in hand in hand together. And the Panda will be hitting level 3 here.
Lich is coming. He's going to get the Orb. Damage from range is super good. belt. Nice as well for a little more damage and HP. Fork Lightning available, so he's instantly gonna have Coil, Fork Lightning, Nova.
The next tree.
Yeah,
okay.
this is typical Moon.
And
the Zeppelin.
Zeppelin.
Okay, we read this game correctly so far.
All right.
Wait, is it Island Creep?
No.
No. Okay, that would be
He
big.
can't shoot up in the air. Well, I guess not the big Drake anymore. Could he creep this granite, actually?
Yeah, that's my question.
It's going to take a lot of damage, though.
Oh, Suck getting the 1-0 win over Colorful. So, my boy versus your boy. Looking good for the Koreans so far.
Here comes the push, though, by Happy. He's not interested in prolonging this game any longer. Not interested in having to deal with these mass run-bys and base harass kind of play style by Moon. And here comes the dedicated push. 2 ghouls, 3 fiends, 3 heroes, and 2 statues. With proper micro, which is always what we have to expect from Happy, this army should be superior to the Night Elf. This tree is going to fall. Question is, how much damage can Moon do in the meantime in the main?
Yeah, I think it's a trade. I mean, he's too late for a TP home. This tree is once again falling. Second one is coming up, yeah, but he needs to creep that spot, and that does take some time. Third expansion on the way. So Happy. Of course, it's not that bad to lose. Acolytes here can rebuild it, does so. There's trees everywhere for Moon now. TP home. Does he have web?
Yeah,
is
that's
another
the big
question.
question.
And he does not have it. Again.
Oh my god, that was so risky for Moon. If
Yeah.
the Zeppelin gets webbed and Happy stacks under it, everything could die.
Yeah.
Again, Moon taking some chances here, taking some risks, which I guess he has to. There we can see the web is finishing now. Interesting.
Indeed interesting. And more expansions. Happy has to put out fires everywhere at the same time. If this game goes for 3, 4, 5 more minutes, Moon is gonna have so much income.
In this epic game that Happy played versus Lolite on this map a couple of days ago, the one mistake that Happy seemed to have made there was going for staffs too late. Tele staff are always a great resource to make use of in these continuous run-by games, but Happy, he wants to force a fight. He's going into the main, he's pressuring Moon, he's saying, come at me, bro. It's time to go for a big battle.
Yeah, because if he stops him here now, all this gold that he used for the trees will be down the drain. It's not an army. Supply-wise, they are pretty equal. Oh, the Fiend gets it this time. And with the towers, he kills the Zeppelin. Gotta be a TP right away. He's trying to do some damage on Acolytes, but that should be fine. Staff is ready. Coil arrives. The Huntress survives, and the Panda rises up to 4. And now the DK is not with the army. How good is an undead army without Aura and Coil?
Good enough, I guess, that he's forcing this Panda back. Hunter is creeping over here, getting the next expansion up, more experience for the Panda as well. And there we could see the fast tele staff. Looks like Happy learned from his loss against Lawliot, realizing the importance of mobility. Now, trees have died before, but losing the Tree of Ages, that Moon probably cannot afford. But does he have a choice? Can he try to defend his main?
I don't know. He has a TP. This one's crapped. He's gonna go to the red spot, and the upper right is crapped as well. I feel like he has to. You can't win the game with Huntress only. But is he just giving this up?
It looks like he is.
He's 10 supply down now.
Man, with this tree falling, how is he ever gonna transition into good units?
Yeah. I mean, Mass Archers is pretty good, but
Trying to save as many wisps as he can, but... Alright, super weird game. It's all out base race here, all out building, trading and stuff.
upper right is scouted. Happy can just continue to kill trees around the clock.
No A-bombs though, no frenzy ghouls will always mean that Happy doesn't have the best damage against buildings. It's mostly piercing here, which his army consists of, so it's going to take some time to play this game of whack-a-mole. The tree not rooted. That's a bit of a mistake here by Moon. This is going to be a much faster kill than it should be for Happy, and then he can go towards the next bases. I'd like to see a shade here from Happy to have mass scouting against all these trees.
Yeah.
He does have the lumber to sustain that as well.
That's close to 5. Wow, it's pretty impressive how Moon is finding back into this game. He found Staff of Silence, by the way, against Undead. Really good, as long as the Destroyers don't dispel it. But that was one of the best things he could have found on that red spot. So, 2 trees down. 2 more to go. 3 more to go. I'm sorry, but the Destroyer finds it, of course.
Classic Moon game.
Yeah, this is as vintage as it gets.
Yeah. Run-bys, masteries. That's the way he likes to play. That's the way he's been playing for years. But Happy is making this a tough game for the Korean. Killing more and more trees. Killed 2, or was it 3 at this point? Already? Yeah, it was 3 actually. But the level 3 breath, you can see a lot of damage against these buildings.
How much time does he have to repair and heal up? The Fiend will be falling most likely. But again, oh, no, he's not trading it for the tree. It's just a staff from the DK. But it is only the DK. It's no AoE. He doesn't have the orb. It's just the staff and a coil.
And the Panda only has 1 more breath. That was good damage. But now, that's it, really. Nothing here is dangerous anymore once the Panda runs out of mana. This tree falls as well. Yeah. The DK with the 2 units here is enough to hold the main. And the Lich can go continuing his onslaught.
Okay, Happy now. Okay, you are not entangling this gold mine. He expands in the upper right. This is, of course, a little bit of scouting as well. And if it works, I mean, why not? But I think a Wisp was already there, if I saw the red dot correctly. Panda staffs out, not in range for Coil Nova Fork Lightning. Level 6 will be super hard now, though. He got level 5, and that is the most important thing for the Breath of Fire. But if you win this game, you kind of want Earthstorm and Fire. You kind of need Earthstorm and Fire.
Yeah, I wonder if it's even enough. Like, yes, that's going to be good, but is it good enough to win a fight? At the end of the day, you still have Huntresses, which don't even really have any upgrades. 1-0 only. Maybe they have the Glaive upgrade, but...
Pretty sure they do. Spend some time on tier 2.
Alright, there's going to be a cancel of the Expo, so it's finally something going right for Moon. But he's going to be losing more of his Wisps.
Panda's going into the main again. I was wondering for a second if he's invisible, because he takes quite some damage with the towers. And what does this do? Triggers the staff, but that's about it. Happy's Expo stopped. Not too much to creep anymore. You gotta say, Happy not on level 3, with neither hero.
Was a very late cancel on the Haunted as well, so pretty expensive. But I guess Happy is still accomplishing the most important thing, and that is don't get Moon all this income, all this economy. Oh, Naga finds the Panda. Hello!
Oh, can the Lich catch up? Then it would be double slow. And Nova's ready as well. Panda has a... Oh, DK finds himself in the surround. Well done by him. How did that happen?
Not looking for a second. Can even happen to Happy. And that's a TP that you really don't want to be running around without.
But we go for the tree again in the main. Moon is not mining at the moment. We didn't mention this yet. He's trying to establish expansion, but he's not mining all the time. So if Happy kills more trees... Oh, Naga in trouble as well. Panda in focus. Right clicks. There's a TP. Oh. But where to go? The Panda just falls on level 5. Moon, this is a little sloppy.
I guess he could only TP to his main tree. Yeah. I guess he was stuck there anyways.
Yeah.
DK rejoins. These Hunters don't stand a chance, and this is looking very much like the 2-0 here for Happy. Moons run by styles